Hey, I'm Don. If you know me, I'm Moto Giant. If you don't know me, I like to ride my motorcycle on adventures. The adventures may be across the country, may just be right around the corner. But lately I've been fascinated with ghost towns. And one of the ghost towns that I've been tracking for over a decade is Kellerman, Alabama. You may have seen some of my previous videos on Kellerman. If not, check up here. But today I am trying to track down the old railroad bed or any kind of trestles or tunnels or anything that I can find that led up to the old town of Kellerman. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, come along with me. The biggest issue that I have found tracking down the remains of Kellerman and other coal mining towns in the area is they were all bulldozed several years ago, and then the ground was scraped to recover the coal in the seams below. I did a video on Mr. Tom, this huge drag line, big earth moving tractor if you want to check that out. But since everything has not only been bulldozed, but the earth has been turned over completely, it makes it really hard to find what's left. But I suspect that there's going to be something left of the railroad bed and some trestles and some tunnels, and I am plotting to find the remains today. And this is one of the final tunnels that the train went through here. One of the guys I talked to that works out in this area now, they're still mining in the area, strip mining. I'm right next to a huge, monstrous pit here, and the guy told me there used to be a tunnel that came through in this area, and I wasn't exactly sure where it was till I got my maps. But apparently it went through right about here. I'm just about on top of where that tunnel went through, but it looks like they filled it in on both sides. So I was going to try to get back to the other side of the road. Just down the road there's a notch in the woods that you can drive through, and actually it looks like you can get back into the mines over here. But oddly, this one day there was a train that was blocking this road. Kind of disappointing, because that would have given me a shortcut down all the blacktop roads, or black rock roads. They call these roads around here black rock because it's the useless rock that they pull out of the ground that's surrounding the coal seams, and it's useless, but it's also a pretty good rock for roads. It stays on the road pretty well. It's kind of like gravel, like that's gravel that you're looking at, gray rock. Anyway, I sat here and tried to navigate a little bit and decided that I needed to head back towards the number 2 mine. And the number 2 mine has, on the map, it looks like there's a road called the Hall Road, and or Hall Road. I call it the Hall Road because I'm fascinated with Alaska. But so I made my way back to the number 2 mine, since this venture was a bust, and this is number 2 here. I'm closing in on. I've kind of ridden around here slightly, but since it's private property, I've kind of been kind of careful about where I go. And this even has a guard shack, but I figured I'd pull up to the guard shack and see if I was in the right area, and maybe if they would let me through to see it. And the directions that they gave me were disappointing too. But I'm struggling with my map at this point, and I wasn't even sure if I could tell them where I wanted to go, but I could point to it on the map, and this little girl was just terrified of.
Hang on, let me get this thing turned off.
The disease-laden man on the motorcycle. So, but all the mines in the area are operational, but they check temperatures now. They come out in mask gear like you're walking into a hospital, and they fire a little laser at the side of your head and check your temperature before they'll let you into the mine site. And that's everybody, employees, contractors, everybody, especially tourists like me. But since this this guy, I'm not sure if he worked at the mines or whatever, but he couldn't help me either. So I boogied back down on the other entrance. Looked like there were 3 ways into this area. And I came back down here, and there was a bunch of semis with coal loaded in them, stirring up the dust. And I figured I'd pull off into this little spot here and navigate once again. And kind of got me close to the area, but I eventually wound up at a little pond. I'd say lake, but I don't think it's big enough to be a lake. And it's clearly looks like a man-made pond that has been built, I guess, to either put a road in there or to catch some of the water. And that's a big floating pump. I'm still kind of trying to figure out the whole pumping thing. They're pumping water from one side of everything to another spot, but that's a huge pump that's sitting up there floating, and you're looking down through the valley here, and the valley is where that train came up through, and you can see that's where I'm flying out of and standing. And this is that purple line is the old rail bed apparently, and that's what I was chasing today. And I couldn't see anything from where I was, just all I could see was the valley. So I decided to see if I could get a little bit closer to another spot, and there were some roads to some of these abandoned wells in here, and I decided to see how far down I could get so I didn't have to crawl through the woods. Now, you may be watching this and saying to yourself, poor guy, he has to ride around on a motorcycle down dirt roads searching for these lost civilizations. And I would say, no, I don't think you understand. I love doing this. And now I'm leaving the place that I just flew out of, and I'm rolling over the dam. And just to the right there is the valley that heads down to the river eventually. And the road was a little bit rough here. A couple of spots I had to actually slow and crawl down. There were some pretty big whoops. And this was a maze of old black rock roads that led to some old abandoned gas wells, and this is one of the wells that had been abandoned. They even took the pump jack and everything out of here, so I guess it either pulled all the gas out that they needed, or stopped functioning, or maybe it was a bad shot, who knows. But I'm crawling through the woods here to get around the 2 trees that are down in front of me. Turned out it was much easier to get down this right away for the power lines. It looks even more well maintained than the road does, but that's the problem. If you can imagine how bad walking through the woods without the road would have been, it would have taken me maybe 2 or 3 hours to get through here, walking from the nearest bigger road. But this is what makes things fun for me. All right, that's where I am. That's where I'm going. I'm hoping it's not more than a few hundred yards. And I mean, for all I know, that's a freaking vertical cliff face, but I'm gonna go check it out one way or the other. So I was not expecting to go hiking through the woods, and especially not cutting single track today. That was not in my plan. I mean, it's a nice cool day and everything, but man, the woods are starting to get thick in here, so I don't know how far I'm gonna go. This is an old gas well. I'm at the end of, well, I was at the end of the road way back there. There's a couple of trees down in the road back there, but I thought, just zip around on the power line, see how far I can go. And I got down to this basically just a well, an empty well, and you can see this is the end of the power lines even, so I don't know how much further I'm going to be able to get down in here, but maybe I can get the drone up. Yeah, this is starting to slope down pretty thick, pretty quick here. Looks like this may be the edge of edge of the strip mining. So maybe if it's possible to get down in here, maybe I can see what's left of the old tracks. It's pretty steep. What do y'all think? What do you think? So if you could not tell by the video, this was a very significant grade. I did not feel comfortable going down that. Almost wasn't a sheer cliff face, but it was pretty vertical, and the sun was going down, and I just really did not want to get down in there and risk getting stuck or hurt or something like that. But this is my flyover, and you could see there's something really flat down there. Doesn't look like a creek bed, but maybe there's some other feature down there. My first thought was, oh, that's a Black Rock road that's coming into one of the gas wells, but I can't find that road anywhere on the map, and it's a creek bed. So all this is creek running beside this, and off in the distance, I could see something else. It looked like tracks, looked like maybe the old rail bed, but my battery on my controller was giving me fits, and it was very windy, and I barely got the drone back before the battery died, so I think I made the best choice. But I do want to investigate this more. Looking at the map from Google Earth, and I found a contour map too. Looking at those maps, you can see this is where I'm flying out of, and this point right there is almost where I'm at. But you can see, looking down that valley, that there looks like a raised bed. Looks like completely the size of a train. And over on the left side, you can see what looks like a platform that may actually be the old foundation for the water tower. Then the question becomes, if this is a foundation for a water tower, is it this foundation for this water tower? So I have definitely seen enough with the drone to make me think it would be worth coming back down in here. I saw what looked like flat. It looked like maybe a small lake or a creek or something, which makes a lot of sense because this is a drainage. It's a little valley that goes up. That's why they put train tracks in here. And that's a hell of a drop, though. I don't know what to expect with that. And with all this water, if there's anything left, if there's any tracks or railroad ties or anything like that, they're probably underwater if there's a creek running by, because it's been raining a lot past few days. And maybe I should just wait till it dries up. I do want to come back down in here, maybe take a closer look at Google Earth, since I know where I'm at now, and I know that I can get pretty close without cutting single track for 15 miles. But I'm about to get on the bike and see if I can get out of here. It was a good afternoon. All right then. That didn't go so well. I got my damn treads full of mud. Try not to loop it. If you don't ride motorcycles, looping a motorcycle is basically most of the time it happens when you're climbing up a hill and you don't have quite good traction, and at some point you slow just enough to get a little bit of traction, or you hit a rock or a root or something, and the tire grabs and the bike goes vertical, and most of the time it just does a looping action. Sometimes it will loop over your head, and that's what I was talking about there. It's kind of funny, a little bit of insight to motorcycle humor. But I got back out on the main road and started trying to find the haul road, and apparently this was the haul road that I was riding on, and it was at this point where I was trying to figure out where I was, and I noticed in the distance that is Lock 17 Road on the other side of number 2 mine. And I was pretty excited to see this. And I'd ridden around the front section of this just enough to know that I was pretty sure that there was a way to get through here and get out on the other side away from the guard shack. I was pretty sure that they weren't going to really appreciate me being back here. But it seemed like, unlike most factories and things like that in the area, that these folks are pretty laid back, and I don't think that they would have sent a guard out with a gun to come, throw me in jail or torture me in the mines or something. But this was pretty cool riding down in here. Had not had the balls to actually get down this far into the mine, but it was kind of cool seeing the operation. This is just a belt that takes the coal up to a tower and dumps it into a big cone-shaped pile so the trucks can come pick it up. Anyway, it was a really fascinating day. It wasn't exactly how I wanted it to wind up. I wanted to see a rail bed. I think I might actually have seen the rail bed. It's just kind of hard to see from the I don't know, 200 feet up above it. But overall, I would say it's a very productive day and gives me some guidance on what to find next time I go out, and look for Ghost Train number 2 coming up shortly. Is Kellerman, Alabama. COVID-19. It's a killer.